Hello everyone, how are you all? Welcome back to Engineering Sovereign AI Systems. In the previous episode, we introduced the idea that enterprise AI is much more than connecting an application to a language model. Today, we are going to answer a simple but important architectural question. When an enterprise user asks an AI assistant a question, where does that request actually run? Most people assume it goes directly to the AI model, but in a well designed enterprise AI platform, several architectural decisions are made before a model is ever selected. Let's see how that it works. Let's look at the architecture here. The architecture represents a simplified enterprise AI request processing architecture. The important idea here is that enterprise AI consists of two major planes. One is decision plane and the execution plane. Every user request first enters through an AI gateway. The gateway doesn't immediately send the request to AI model. Instead, the request moves through the decision plane. First, the request is analyzed. The platform determines whether it is internal business information or a public information, and it evaluates the sensitivity and detects whether the request contains protected information. Next, the policy engine evaluates organizational rules, which is very important. For example, does this request need to remain within a region like Europe? Is a public AI service allowed? Which execution environments are approved? So, based on these decisions, the routing engine selects the most appropriate AI runtime. Only after all those checks does the request enter the execution plan. Let's see what this architecture looks like in practice. So let's see a demo using our Nexus IQ platform. Okay, so the demo one is like, I wanted to show different use cases here. So I'll summarize the Q2 sales report, which is more of an internal business use case. So here, if you see the request flow, the request enter through the AI gateway and moves through the decision plane. And the decision summary shows the enterprise data containing a sensitive business information, and the policy requires processing within the EU boundaries and request routed to the enterprise private model within the region. So there are two things you can see. One is classification, another one is routing decision. So under classification, the request type is internal business data, and it's classified as an confidential, so it is a sensitive information, and the region is Germany, and it contains PII. Because of all this, the request is considered high risk. So the routing engine now makes the execution decision based on the classification. So it is, instead of using public AI service, the request is routed to an enterprise private model, enterprise AI runtime, which is located in Germany region. The workload remains inside EU data boundary. So finally, every decision is recorded in the audit trail. This creates transparency into how the platform handled the request. Now let's compare that with a completely different request. So summarize the latest AI news, which is more of a public information. So the request is very different. The platform classifies this as a public information. You can see here, there is no protected business information is detected. No residency restriction applied. The routing engine now selects a public model, public AI runtime. Even though the same AI platform processed both the request, the execution environments are completely different. So this is exactly why the decision plane exists. The user never selected the AI model. If you see, the architecture made the decision. Every request is analyzed, policies are enforced, routing decisions are made. Only then is the request is executed. So this demo is intentionally simplified to illustrate the architectural concepts. So in a production enterprise platform, request classification, policy evaluation, routing, and auditing would typically integrate with the enterprise identity providers, policy engines, model registries, governance services, and observability platforms. The goal here is to visualize the architectural flow before diving deeper into each component, which is coming up in the future episodes. So, enterprise AI isn't simply about calling a language model. So, it's about engineering systems that make intelligent decision before inference ever begins. That's the foundation of trusted enterprise AI. So, in the next episode, we will take a closer look at one of the important components in this architecture, the enterprise AI gateway. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.